Don't wonder, just ask us.
Guess what we have?
What?
Mercury retrograde.
I'm going to just say that it feels like it's always Mercury retrograde. It always feels like it's always that. It's always Mercury retrograde. It's never not Mercury retrograde. Or it's always coming back. Like it was gone for a second.
Okay, Mercury retrograde is this thing, what happens, I'm sure you learned from Chris, because he's like super astrologer. And it's 3 times a year, and it's a communication problem. It's when the planet of communication has a tendency to go backwards. And what happens is if you buy a cell phone, a laptop, computers.
Yeah, because we're all without those.
Yeah, well, it's this day and age, and that's what happens. And you don't sign contracts, stuff like that. And what happens is things get said the wrong way, or like I may say, I think you're beautiful. And then you'll be like, of course you do. You worship me. And I'll be like, no, not like that. But, things are misconstrued. So it's kind of funny, but even like in psychic readings, sometimes I'll do a reading and it's like I explain it when I read someone in retrograde that they'll be asking me, or I'll do a gallery reading, which is where you go in front of people and you do dead people, and they're like, oh, I really, my father just had passed away. Can you?
But
really
that's who doesn't want to talk to you.
Yeah, and I'll be like, I have your next door neighbor's Aunt Marcia.
I hated those neighbors. We lived next to them for 40 years.
Yeah,
I don't want to hear about
it's
that.
Kind of like or like you're in an elevator and like I'll press, all right, I need to go to the 3rd floor, and then all of a sudden next thing you know I'm in the basement. I'm like, damn, Mercury retrograde, and I'm like, not that it affects the psychic so much or the accuracy levels. It's just the information comes in a little bit different. Yeah. So.
No, it seems like a bummer. Whenever everybody says it, I just kind of shut down. I'm like, it's not good. It's never good.
Yeah.
And I'm Capricorn, so that everyone says that Saturn is ruled by Mercury, and then I feel like I take it personally. That's there.
And she should read the 4 agreements, which
I told you to read. Don't even start. That's another day.
All right, so I think we have a question, and actually it's a question that I'm feeling is going to be a little cyclic, like kind of like where it runs in patterns. So let's hear that question.
Okay.
I'm 19 now, and I have a serious disease and have had it my whole life. Honestly, I'm getting sick of being sick, and at this point, it limits me a lot, and I don't know what to do with myself anymore. I was wondering if you could see me getting healthy in the future, hopefully the near future.
Wow. Anytime when you're sick, it's really hard, and to be young and sick, that's a lesson in itself to push through, and it's a big lesson, but also you are kind of held up as a role model for others of how you are when I see a sick child. I feel like they have to get strength earlier on, and that's rough.
Okay, I want to say that it's something systemic, it's all around, but I want to say the funny thing is how much has everyone else told you to like being sick or not like being sick, but
that's your story.
It's your kind of like, you're just like, I'm always gonna be sick, I'm always gonna be sick, and in your subliminal mind, like you're looping that track, kind of like, like that track is re-looping itself. I think your pathway to getting better, there is a way for management of what you're going through, and I want to say that you're going to be better. You're actually going to live longer, and it's not like it's terminal. So you're not gonna. I'm not getting that vibe at all. And I want to say that your healing comes through projection, art, music. Write it, like think it. Like if you think it, write it down, ink it. Like kind of like that. Like she needs to write and express herself. It's a creativity blockage, and because I feel like you've always been told you're sick, you're sick, you're sick. And I want to say that like Mercury retrograde, like it comes like 3 times a year, you have flare-ups, or like you're not always in a state of sickness is what I'm seeing. So if I'm seeing that you're not always in a state of sickness, like you have good days and bad days.
But there are people that are sick, and there are people like in wheelchairs that actually go to a psychiatrist and kind of deal with like the psychology of pain and stuff, and you still write. And it's just it's a more extreme version of like Alanis Morissette. When she's happy, I don't want to hear those songs. It's like you have a lot, you're deep. Because pain is deep. So you can access it without loving it and use it as a well, but get well. But it defines you. I get it because it's always been there. but maybe there's a time without
And
it.
here's the thing too. I mean, they're telling me that you're an artist, or there's some type of art that comes through that you can easily channel through you, or bring to you, or ideas, developing, painting stuff, doing stuff, right? And just nurture your creativity. Put everything out there that you could possibly put down. Write an essay on why. Write an essay to yourself as if
But
you never had this
sick of being-
disease,
right.
and tell yourself how sick you are sick of being sick. And you need to reverse your thinking on it. It's kind of like, that's what I'm seeing. I think it's something that it's not going to hamper your life any longer than you allow it to. And you can control it. It's just a matter of it. I'm getting like a flaring situation. So I kind of want to say, if it's like, you know, the fires always happen in California, like, you know, just stay.
Also, the fact of you being 19, you know, for 18 years, you know, parents and people around you have been coddling you, I'm sure, and worried, and always have that look on their face, like, don't fall, or whatever it is. And now you have to just own it, where, you know, you have to kind of break free from that and really take on what you will accept of the illness, or not what other people put on you. You know, it's like when you're a kid, you fall down and your mom looks at you and starts crying. I flip out because I flip out because I think it's worse than it is. I look to her validation of what's going on with me as a kid. Maybe there's some cookies to get out of it. Total manipulator. And now just kind of deal with what is really going on, and how, you know, you can be positive and use it, you know, to push through to something else for you.
Yeah,
or you define it.
With neurological problems and stuff like that, it's a lot of times it's your own. The best way to you have to like tweeze out in your life what is going to remind you of those situations, because they're going to occur. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of you have a lot to put on there. You have a lot to put here, and it's funny. It's like writing. It's like painting. It's like
I'm sure you're a very intense person, and let people see that intensity.
Yeah.
It's not unattractive at all. And you're allowed to get angry. You're allowed to be pissed off. And you have to be the grateful, sick person, you know, where, you know, it's okay, it's for a reason. Forget it. You're allowed to be angry and break through and define it for yourself, instead of people telling you what it is, because that's what you do when you're younger, and people put all their fear on you.
Yeah, I feel like you're going to get involved with some type of helping other people, and actually helping people with your situation. So you're going to wind up being a messenger, and that's good for you for that, because that's a really hard title to hold. But to just say when you're sick of being sick, I'm not seeing a lot of bad happening to you. I'm seeing more good happening to you, and that's what I'm feeling.
And sometimes when you see people who are more sick, that kind of puts you into a situation, you know, where you're like, oh wow, someone, you know, and not that anyone is competing on who has more pain, but just other people that get it more than the people around you that maybe aren't getting it enough. So I say there's exciting stuff for you, and a lot of stuff coming up.
Yeah,
a lot
I
of
would
creativity.
say so. A lot of good stuff. Get it all out. Express it creatively. That's the most important thing. And I
if
think
it's
that
dark,
will
that's
mask.
okay.
Yeah, even no matter what it is, just it will mask what is triggering your episodes.
Yeah.
So good luck to you.
Yes.
And
email us. Let us know what's going on.
yeah, let us know if you guys are. Let us know if you're okay.
Yeah.
And I'm Angelo Eros.
Lauren Sarafan.
And feel better.
If you have a question, email us